made the Group 1 Makybe Diva 1,600 metres weight for age at headquarters, Flemington. Via Sistina, is she going to flex her muscle, or do you think there's going to be a bit of an upset?
Potentially, yeah. I think she's the one that you start with, right? And then there's a couple of others they're all vying for that weight for age Group 1 crown. There might be some value that we found in that race, so you'll just have to give it a listen. But throughout the rest of the podcast, I'm telling you, like, if you like betting with Neds and if you like betting with same race multis, this is the podcast to listen to because we've identified some serious value.
Yeah, and I think you have to be locked in this weekend, drifters, because what you have to do is open your Neds app and go to your profiles because there'll be some value there. And the beauty of it is you won't have to stake that much to actually turn a profit here.
Absolutely.
If we're successful.
For sure. We also talk about the Everest because there's only 2 horses that are locked in at the moment. We talked about some horses we think will make it into the final field, and there's some more value there. Absolutely. And also something that I wanted to highlight, Group 1 racing tipping competition.
Yes.
It's going to be starting on Manikato Stakes night, which is a Friday, September 27th. More details to come, but there's going to be some prizes involved that are juicy.
Yeah, like cash.
Cash prizes.
Cash prizes. Some hats.
Potentially
stickers.
Oh,
yeah, that'd be nice.
That would be nice. Yeah. So it's a big ep.
Yeah, it's a big one. Let's get into it. But what are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
I need to ask you a question. Be curious, drifters.
Mr. Brightside spins them up and wins again. Zardozi wins the Oaks for J-Mac. The photo finish. Mr. Brightside or Romantic Warrior. The mare's going. Great guns. Fangirl. Look at her go. Fangirl. Imperatrice has got her. And raced on by Imperatrice by a length.
Overpass. More Baker's Delight in Perth.
Radina just won it, I'd say. Tom Kedden won the spring champion in a cakewalk. Without a fight, won the Caulfield Cup.
He did win the Caulfield Cup, but hopefully at the start of this episode, we'll try and find the Everest winner. Not only that, we're going to determine the entire field.
Sheesh. Well, if we determine the entire field, then we'll also find the winner.
I think so.
Amongst those names. It's looking pretty bare at the moment, isn't it, mate?
It is, but I'm an optimist at heart. And jeez, there's a few drifters that have opinions as well, which is good to see. But I Wish I Win.
Yep.
From Trackside Media.
Yep. Has
a slot, and Bustling for Max Whitby, Cole Madden, and Neil Werrett has a slot as well. I'm trying to think of, let's go like the ones that are obvious, right? So let's start with, say, Yulong.
Yeah, I think the ones that are obvious are the ones where they're pretty much going to select one of their own horses as a first point of call.
That makes sense, right?
Like we've seen Yulong select horses that aren't their own because they simply didn't have anyone that would qualify to be good enough for running in an Everest. But anyway, so Yulong, as it stands right now, I text you today, couldn't find a market for Growing Empire in the Everest.
Well, he's in there now.
Is he?
With the good people at Ned's, he's $13.
Okay, because he was not there this morning. And I think when they put up the market today for this weekend at such a short price, they probably thought, you know what, if he wins this, he's probably going to be at an Everest. So I think he's the obvious answer for Yulong. But if something goes wrong, I thought Yulong might be interested in Lady of Camelot because she is by Written Tycoon, who is their leading sire. So that's where I thought for Yulong.
See, this is where you pay the bills in these conversations
because they got preferences.
Well, and you understand like the stallion nature of these investments, right?
Yes.
I just look at the pretty silks.
Well, hers are pretty. Like I like the yellow silks. They're famous silks. Those ones.
All right. So Growing Empire with Lady Camelot as the second seed. I like it. Godolphin. Now we kind of discussed this on Sunday.
Yeah.
So we're locked into Spacewalk. Yeah.
He's racing this weekend. Actually,
I think down the straight, stranger things have happened. Like I think he could put a hoof for it if he beats that field in the Bobbie Lewis by 2 lengths.
Yeah, he can run a bomb sometimes, Spacewalk. But yeah, another guy resumes this weekend for the traffic warden. We speaking about on Sunday. Like you'd think so.
Yeah. I'm locking in traffic.
Yeah, you'd think so. He'd have to run really poorly for them not to pick him.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. All right. So those two are done. Cool more. Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. It depends what happens this weekend between Switzerland and Stormboy. If Switzerland comes out and runs a great race, top 3, looks like he's got more under the tank, more in the tank, more under the hood, then I think he's the pick. But if Stormboy runs them ragged, then I don't know. They're sort of talking about him as a Caulfield Guineas Cox Plate horse. It's like, well, if that's the case, then Switzerland's got to be the number 1 seed. Do you reckon? I don't know.
I think for Stormboy being a Justify colt, I think they're so desperate for that Group 1, which the Everest is kind of got that gravitas. Yes, kind of went to start after not winning a Group 1. He won an Everest. So I think but I think they're going the more traditional route with this horse.
Yeah.
It's like if he's a Group 1 winning son of Justify, I think you could sell that at the market.
Yeah, I think so. I think you already can with him, to be honest. So adding that Group 1 will just give them license to give him a home affairs type starting fee.
Yeah.
6 figures.
So I'm more so team Switzerland at this stage.
I think so.
Yeah.
The only other thing is Switzerland's trained by Chris Waller and Chris Waller has a slot, but there's another horse that probably is top of the tree there.
He has 3 in it already. Well, let's talk about Chris Waller then. Christopher Waller. I think Jolly Star's got not only her hoof in the starting lane for Chris.
Yeah.
I think she's almost on the podium already for me.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, she's the no-brainer for Chris. The only thing is if like another slot holder negotiates a really good deal with the connections of Jolly Star, but I think Chris Waller would have had the front foot on that one already.
Yeah, I believe so. Okay. John Camilleri.
Yeah, so John Camilleri's silks are the Argentia silks that you rightly pointed out the other day. And so he purchased Sunshine in Paris after she won her Group 1. So she's racing this weekend as well against Jolly Star. I would imagine if she runs super, she doesn't have to win. I reckon if she comes second or third, she'll probably take that slot for John Camilleri.
100%. Who else does he have? I don't really know off the top of my head.
Yeah, and he doesn't necessarily need to run one of his own, but he's going to give her every opportunity,
Absolutely.
right?
100%. Now, this is where we get into the funky ones. I think there's one other one for, I guess, like a breeding kind of operation, Newgate and GPI Racing.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated to hear what you have here because I was trying to look at basically like the Newgate Silks.
Yeah, really tricky for them. So they actually had Think About It last year. So that makes things interesting to see how he returns. But there's another colt who's actually resuming in the Run to the Rose this weekend. Another Chris Waller colt called Emirate, and he's by Extreme Choice, who's Newgate's pin-up stallion. Again, if Emirate runs a bold race on the weekend, then I think they'll snap him up. For me, I sort of thought about it differently. I thought, okay, who are the horses right now who I think have to be in there?
Yeah.
And I think the top of the tree, and she's not being spoken about enough, is Bella Nipotina. Has to be in there somewhere. Mm-hmm. So then it's like, okay, who snaps her up?
Yeah.
I think it'd be like one of those like Tab or ATC, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've got her in one of those kind of slots as well. So I think that kind of, I think this is, I went with Newgate. I went a bit outside the box, kind of like going with that thinking, if this horse knocks off Growing Empire this weekend in the Poseidon, High Octane could take that spot.
He's the other one, yeah.
And I guess he's had a bit of a career so far, but he's shown a lot of talent when he's got it right. And he was held up a lot first up, and I think there might be some intent with J-Mac on this weekend. So I reckon he's potentially one, but you're right about those other ones, and that's where we'll kind of cover those off for the rest. So I guess the next one would be James Harron. He had Gigi Kick a couple of years ago.
He had Gigi Kick when he won. So Giga Kick's going to race again over 1,200 metres in 2 weeks, I'd imagine. If he runs super, there's so much depending on the next couple of weeks. It'll all unfold, but as it stands right now, if I was a slot holder and someone said to me, "Hey, you've got Giga Kick," I'd be happy with that.
Yep.
So I'd imagine he'll get snapped up. I'd prefer to take him, even though Private Eye beat him fair and square on the weekend. So did Bellini Patina for that matter, and IME lol. I'd have Giga Kick.
Yeah, I
over
think
them.
so.
Yeah,
He's been there, done it.
Haven't spoken about any 3-year-old fillies, have we?
Well, yeah, we touched on Lady of Camelot.
Yeah, Lady of Camelot. Yeah,
I've got. I have one. If James Harron, I just feel like he's one that kind of goes outside the box. He proved that with Giga Kick as well. So I kind of had 2 3-year-old fillies as backups for him, but you could probably have these obviously as backups for the rest of the slot holders as well. I had Lady of Camelot as one. Not really going into depth with the breeding element, but Hayasugi's another one for me.
I think as it stands right now, I was looking at the market today, and she's around that sort of $26 mark in futures. Mate, I think she's the play. Yeah. That was an unbelievable return. Watching that replay of the Moya, you cannot tell me that she ran any worse than I Wish I Win.
No way.
And we know that she's going to be better over 1,200 metres.
Absolutely.
Last time she was in Sydney, failed miserably, but put a line through that. So you're effectively saying since she resumed as a 2-year-old in the autumn, she won 3 on the trot, including the Blue Diamond. Put a line through that Golden Slipper run, and then her first up run as a 3-year-old, she came home like a freight train over 1,000 metres in a Group 1.
Forgotten 3-year-old for sure.
She's like that mid sort of 20s mark, like I was saying. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put it on my Ned's profile after this podcast, Drifters. I'd be snapping her up.
Yeah. And
she can win the Manikato.
And if she doesn't get a run in the race, you get it. It's a free hit.
Exactly.
In the Everest.
Exactly. So she has to get a slot, whether it's, look, I've got her against Tab. I think if you're Tab, if you're the Star Arrowfield, James Harron, anyone who's outside of those sort of big breeding farms, I'd be snapping her up.
Yep. Yeah. I've got her as second pick for someone. So she at the moment for me, she's probably about first emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is one that I have overthought, but I've kind of ATC, the Australian Turf Club, right? I reckon they're going to reward this to a local trainer. And I think one that they'd like to, I'd have to look through their, I guess who they've given it to in the past. But Bjorn Baker feels like a local trainer that they kind of reward. So I've got Steffi Magnetica or Overpass. But Overpass has to go there first up. Has to.
Yeah, has to, yeah. They're the two as well I had waiting in the wings for that sort of ATC type. The only one that I didn't have, which, would not look out of place, is probably Private Eye.
I had Private Eye in the Star in Arrowfield.
Yeah. I think every horse we've mentioned, I think, unless anything pops out of the ground, they're the ones. I don't think there's a horse we haven't mentioned that'll win the Everest. As it stands right now.
And I had Bella for 10 green.
Yeah, that makes sense. She's the punter's horse, so that makes sense. Maybe after this we can put together ours in a little table and have a couple of emergencies and post that in our stories.
I think so. Oh, hey, we'll even post it on the feed, mate. How about that?
We'll post it on the feed, yeah. For the drifters to have a look at. And I think some naysayers in the game are coming out saying oh, geez, the Everest is starting to lose its polish a little bit, blah, blah, blah. The field's not looking super hot so far. It's well, that's a completely wrong way of looking at it. I reckon the right way of looking at it is this is an incredibly even bunch, which is phenomenal for the race. And would Nature Strip brain these? Would, some others in the past brain these? Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sheraco would fly past this.
Sure. But guess what? They're not fucking there.
And I think to Josh Bell's point, loyal listener of the show, slot holders have worked out not to go early, that's for sure. It's a great point, especially in
great point.
Especially in an early year. In an even year. Because what's the rush? If the eighth in the market is pretty much going to be like, I don't know, a $15 shot or a $20 shot, like you're going to have a really competitive horse in this race anyway.
You're absolutely right. Like, what is the rush? The rush. Let's have a quick look at the market here.
So I Wish I Win at 5s with Jolly Star, Bella Nipotina at 8s with Giga Kick, Storm Boy at 11s, Growing Empire at 13s, Lady of Camelot 15s. Bustling already has a slot at 17s with Sunshine and Paris. Think About It. He's one we didn't discuss. Last year's winner.
Think About It. Yeah, I mentioned him for one of the slots.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
for
as like a because they raced him last year. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. I kind of put a line through him just because I think he's been mismanaged. Estriella, I don't think she gets a slot.
I think she had to run better first up, unless she improves drastically.
Yep. Hey, Sugi's coming to $21 since you kind of talked about that with I Am Me, Overpass and Private Eye. Daft Cabin at 26s with Chain of Lightning, Coleman, Espionage, Millstream, Steffi Magnetica, Switzerland, Traffic Warden, V8. V8, interesting.
V8's interesting. I think he's probably more of a 1400 metre horse.
Yeah.
And he'd be heading to a Golden Eagle, wouldn't he? Or is he a 5-year-old now?
No, 3-year-old. 4-year-old.
4-year-old, yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ran in the Guineas, didn't he?
That's right, yeah.
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 Yeah. Arkansas Kids, $51. Buenos Noches is $51.
Bernadette is not the worst 50 to 1 pop.
Ugh.
Like she's better than Arkansas Kid.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair assessment. Corniche, if Traffic Warden bangs up badly, Corniche is probably the top number 1 seed for Godolphin, $51 for them. But he should be a $51 chance in that race. So, yeah, fascinating. Gatsby's all of a sudden is $51.
Sheesh.
Marzu's $51.
Yeah, sheesh. So, yeah, well, you look at this market and it is incredibly even. Like, yeah, no need to rush. Yeah, I've been really warming to Hayasugi after watching that replay.
Want to back her wherever she goes.
Yeah, she just launched like a good horse.
She is a good horse.
Yeah, just really, really liked it.
Yeah, so could be a couple of a filly and a mare in the top 2 with Jolly Star. And Hayasugi.
Yep.
Interesting.
But the picture will get clearer after this weekend. That's for sure.
Yes,
I think the most fascinating race of the spring thus far is this weekend.
Which one's that?
Guess you'll have to wait and see.
Okay. All right. Well, shall we get into Flemington?
Yeah.
Rails in the true. Done it at the start this time, which is helpful.
How's the weather looking though?
There's a little bit of rain around, but Flemington drains well.
Be a good 4.
Yeah, I'd say it'll be a good 4 it would be a genuine good 4, I would imagine, because it's a little bit cold. Should we get to the Makybe Diva?
Let's get to the Makybe Diva if my computer wants to freaking load.
Oh, that's a shame.
There we go.
There you go, mate. All right, so 1600 metre Group 1, Wait for Age. Who did you like here? Pride of Jenny's she's $7 now.
Oh, look, if you're a forgiving type,
I know Tony's going to be on.
Yeah, Tony will be on. If you're a forgiving type, you're just licking your lips. You're thinking like, line through that first up run, give me $7.
Can I say something?
Sure.
There's no fly in the ointment here with Gentleman Roy. He ain't in the race this time.
No fly in the ointment.
And she's proven that she just likes basically racing by herself.
Yes, and she likes Flemington.
Yeah.
She likes Flemington a lot. The Flemington Mile, she's 3 starts, 2 wins. They were back-to-back Group 1. So I think if you're the forgiving type, absolutely dive in to Pride of Jenny. This sets up better for her than last start. Way better.
Way better.
And you're getting a way better price.
Yeah.
Via Sistina drawing Gate 1. Bit icky.
Yeah, but smallish field. Like, she'll probably go back anyway, but the large, massive Flemington straight with, who's that? James McDonald on. That's pretty good. It's a good booking. So I think, she's clearly classy enough. Like, never been outside the Quinella in Australia. Only 3 runs, but 2 wins and a second, where she was given none in that Queen Elizabeth. Zero chance.
Yeah, 0 chance.
So she's obviously like the horse to beat. And I think it'll be a line in the sand this weekend of like, oh, okay, that's how much better she is than, say, a Pride of Jenny, a Mr. Brightside, who are right there. It's almost like, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm just going to be fascinated by the tactics in this race. And for that reason, it's probably a stay-out race for me because I think Pride of Jenny I think she's the bet at that price. Like, I think she's the bet because she's going to be punching up out the front on her own. Declan Bates just saying, gallop, girl. And she just might get away with it again. Because like you said, who's going to take them up? I see a guy called Mr. Brightside who might be slightly forgotten. He's nearly $4 and he ran super in the Memsey. He'll improve second up to a mile. Drawn super. He jumped better last start in the Memsey than what he did in the autumn. So maybe he's the one to take him up, and Craig just knows that he needs to be a bit more assertive, perhaps.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. And do you know what I'm going to do with this race, mate? I'm going to have a throw at the stumps.
Love it.
Like, because it's probably a watch race for me. So if it's a watch race, what do we like to do if we still want to be involved somehow?
Just have a throw at the stumps.
Have a throw at the stumps on a roughie.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a guy who's already trimmed up in the market and trialled super. And will he be looking for further? Yeah. Yeah.
Does he have talent, though?
He has an abundance of talent. And I think there's a guy who I speak to regularly about horse racing who likes it when stayers resume at a mile.
Oh, mate. Does he have any residual fitness, I might ask you?
Significant amount. Significant amount. Group 1, Mickey D on.
Sorry, can I... What was his winning margin last start?
10 lengths. Hey.
Oh, my God.
Look, if I was going to find a knock about Warmonger we're talking about, if I was going to find a knock, last time he raced over a mile was at Pakenham. And Rampant Lion beat him fair and square that day because he ran 6th. Rampant Lion's going round today, and we're recording on a Wednesday, Drifters. So that's a knock. But I think the Price Kent Junior stable, listen to me make a case about it, 27 to 1.
No, please.
They spoke about this horse for his entire 3-year-old saying like, yeah, he's a big Dumbo. He's got no idea what he's doing. He's so green. And he was ridden super conservatively in all of his races, and he was launching late every single time. And all of those races did not have any tempo. So they're not going to suit a guy who has lungs like bloody Inthorpe. Big lungs. Grant Hackett even. Big lungs.
Big Queensland lungs.
Big Queensland lungs. In the Derby, Blake thought, you know what? I'm just going to take this guy forward and sit 3 wide with no cover.
I'm going to use Bro's lungs.
Yeah, use Bro's lungs. And he had some of the quickest sectionals in the finals, like last 600-metre sectionals in the meeting.
He would have been 7 wide, at least.
2,400 metres. So I saw the opening price for him was in the 40s, and I was like, get me some of that. Didn't get on. Now he's trimmed up into 27s. Look, will he be much shorter than that? Maybe into the teens.
Or, I don't know. I reckon you'll get a price for him. Yeah.
I'm happy to have a throw at the stumps because he could just have an incentivised like prep.
Just 5 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What's the harm?
There's no harm. He could have one of those preps where he comes out, runs super in this, like top 3, runs super in the bloody Underwood, wins the Turnbull, wins the Caulfield Cup. Yep. He could.
Yeah, he could.
One of his main competitors is out.
Yeah.
Riff Rocket.
Yeah, saw that.
Hopefully he's okay. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna play the race. Just a little each way spec on Warmonger.
No, I think that's a. I'm not judging you for that. Why would I? There's one that we can't win. That's Circle of Fire. He cannot win, even though he's a stay resuming. He can't win. I'm telling you that now. Like, I've been able to identify the Dross trials. He's probably the worst of the lot. Circle of Fire. Yeah, if I was to push a roughie, I was thinking about a Tissue. She's much better at Flemington, but like, you know, she was 3.5 lengths off Via Sistina, and I'm like, at Way for Age, do I really think that she's going to peg that back? I really don't think so. So I really found that difficult. But Via Sistina, I just really see it really difficult for Via Sistina to kind of lose this race.
Yeah, I do.
I just think she's that much better than the likes of Mr. Brightside and probably Jenny on her day, beat her by 6.5. But, if there's another bunny to chase, which I think she'll turn the tables here.
Yeah, and what I like about Via Sistina is that 1,400 metre wing stakes, they don't actually go super quick, and she's still able to rattle home like that. So even if she's doing that off a slow pace, like she can do it off a fast pace because she wants 2,000 metres, and this is a mile. So incredibly hard to beat. She's too short for me to bet into. Pinstriped, Antino.
I think Pinstriped has had his moment.
I can see him running well, but
yeah, Antino again, like
he'll be dead last probably.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like he missed a start last start. So the thing I will say about Mr. Brightside, I've kind of had this opinion his entire career after the statistics have come out, but he's not a Flemington horse, this horse. He's won 2 times at the track from 9 attempts. He's been in the top 3 5 times, so he races really well there, but he doesn't show his best. So his winning strike rate is 22% there versus a career strike rate of 46%.
He likes a tight turning track where it's a short straight and he can just use his short, sharp sprint to get home.
Yeah, so I'm very keen, and he won the race last year, right, against like the likes of an aging Alligator Blood. So I'm keen to kind of, leave Brightside out of the equation. But, I've been wrong before. So, Via Sistina on top for me, but I'll have on my Ned's account, I'll have a Ned's same race multi, Via Sistina first and Warmonger into 4th.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be great.
Get some value.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I hit a few of those on the weekend. All right, Exford Plate, race 2. Let's go to Flemmo. Listed race for the 1,400 metres for the 3-year-old, set weights penalties. I thought you'd probably have the likes of Daggers and Dawn Service lead this up. I thought this was a tough little race.
Mm-hmm.
Dawn Service ran second to Autumn Glow, obviously some of the best form for the 3-year-olds thus far. But I thought Daggers was probably the horse to beat here.
I think so. I think he was the horse to beat, and also he's a half-brother to our guy Miramasa.
Love that.
So, you know what? Purely based on that.
Yeah, same silks, lovely. Same trainers.
Yep.
Love that for him. Yeah, okay.
Still a colt. So, yeah, Daggers for me. I think Flemington's going to suit him, even though he's going to go to the front because he's got a nice, big flowing action. So, Daggers for me.
Yeah, love it. Tell you what, the Captain Teves, 1,100 metres listed for the 3-year-old fillies, set weights and penalties down the straight. There, I don't know where you're going to look here because there is speed galore. They are going to go hammer and tongs here. So it could set up for something with a brilliant finish, but to be honest, there is so many different little form references here. I found this an impossible race to do form on.
Yeah, impossible. Absolutely impossible. Look, our girl drifting, quickly becoming a podcast favourite.
Of course she is.
So well named.
Mm-hmm. Very well named.
So well named. She's drawn well, gate 11, and even though she led last time, we've also seen from her that she can take a bit of a seat.
Mm-hmm.
She's coming back to 1,100 metres. I don't mind that on this occasion. Staying at 1,100 metres. I don't mind that on this occasion because she's actually going to have nearly a month between runs. So there's going to be enough sort of a let up there for her to be sharp again over 1,100, I believe. Is she a straight horse?
To be seen.
To be seen. Ran there once for a second, so I think she can handle it. Bowl Bastille, after running with the big dogs, does she bounce back?
Yeah, she was dross, wasn't she? Not real. That's probably a bit harsh. Like, Mornington Glory beat her by 2 lengths, subsequent Group 1 winner. So, she did have the 50 kilos that day, and she was on the drift. Huge as well that day. I think she was about low $2 when we were talking about it, and then she started nearly $4 on the day. So significant drift. So the market spat her out. Against her own sex here is much more up her alley.
Absolutely. I'll be betting on Drifting just because I'm a fan and I think she's got more under the hood than a lot of these.
Yeah, I think I'm to be seen here. I don't think it's really a race I'm that interested in playing in. The Poseidon, though, 1,100 metres listed for the colts and geldings, set weights and penalties. Growing Empire is your $1.80 favourite. Drawn barrier 3 with Mark Zara on. Then you have some Sydney horses like High Octane, Prost as well coming down. And another interesting colt for Price and Kent Jr. First settler for Yulong as well. Very impressive winner last start against the likes of Landmark. Any firm opinions here? Are you on the favourite, Growing Empire?
Oh, look, he's multi-bait at that price. Couldn't back him sort of straight out, but I think he's a Group 1 winner in waiting, Growing Empire. And if he is, he should be putting these away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about Arthur Aardvark?
Aardvark. Yeah, I don't mind Aardvark. I just think Growing Empire is just so much better. Like he brained them last start, he's down.
Yeah, that's true. I think the bet in the race for me, something very small, 1/3. It's High Octane for J-Mac, Peter Snowden. What I don't like about his preparation is that he's gone back to the trials again. Maybe it's because he just wasn't even didn't even really have a run first up potentially, but at least when he did go back to the trial mid prep, he did brain him by 6 lengths.
Yeah.
So I think he's actually feeling himself. He's feeling pretty good. I actually love Flemington for him. I think he's barrier 7's like cherry ripe. I think J-Mac's just going to get him into clear air. And once this horse has the opportunity to really wind up, he shows a pretty electric turn of foot. $11, I think, is a big price for him.
It is a big price for him.
So, yeah, I'm keen on High Octane just as a little bit of a spec bet.
Could be another Ned's same race multi-candidate with Growing Empire.
Could be. His dam is Granny Red Shoes. Remember that horse? She was only running around about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I do actually.
Interesting. Now, the Archer, I couldn't believe you telling me about this. I can't believe it's moved from Derby Day. When was that decided? Why weren't we consulted?
Yeah, it is a good question. Like, why are they diluting Derby Day? So they took away the Cantala, pushed it a week back, and now they've taken the Archer. Why are you diluting the punter's best day? I don't like it at all.
So do you know what they're replacing it with? If it's another sprint race, I'll walk out. It has to be a 2,000 metre race, right?
Sheesh.
Has to be.
Has to be a 2,500 metre race at least.
Like it'll be a 2,000 metre race, or because they've taken one of the miles away with the Cantala. It has to be a 2,000 metre race. It has to be.
I don't know. Or they could just not have 10 races and just go back to 9.
Like, I don't get it because, like, Shocking won the Melbourne Cup not that long ago from the Archer. So you're taking away a bit of history there. I don't like it at all. And they typically, if they run on the Saturday, they typically run top 10 in the Cup. Like, they do. They are. They get their connections some prize money.
Absolutely. My thing with it, if you're moving it, why are you moving it to now? Like Melbourne Cup's 6 weeks away.
It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
So unless we've kind of overlooked something, maybe there's another win in you're in race that's replaced it, but that would make zero sense at all. Why would you just change for the sake of change?
It makes no sense. But look. That being said, I'm having a punt in this race. I like number 8, Point King.
So do I.
Yeah. I really liked him last start. And I thought he put that field away with some authority. He lightly weighted here. J Carr draws a gate. This is his second run for the stable. So he was with Chris Lees for 1 run, and then they shifted him across to Anthony and Sam Friedman. Yeah. I like him, $5.50. I think he's coming a bit today already. But yeah,
no, I I agree with you. That last run at Moonee Valley really put some guac in my taco. Really did.
That was over 2,000 metres, and all his overseas forms over 25 to 28.
Against the likes of like Absurd and those type of horses, you know? So,
Yeah.
Vauban.
So I don't think I don't think it's a Point King Brainsome type race, but he's the one I'm keen to play at $5.50 at the moment.
Like him and Post Impressionist, very similar careers.
Yes.
Post Impressionist, Australian debut, absolutely the brain of Bahudi Brain. He brained Manzois in Almania. Next start in the Tancred the next week, he ran last. And then he had an okay run in that horrifying Berkshire Breeze race where, 2,500 metres, you'd probably be hoping to see something a little bit better from him. Whereas I think Point King has proven at his resumption that, okay, I think he's the horse you kind of want out of the two. Horrifying has avoided the bookies this prep. Like he was 60 to 1 when he won first up. And then he was $10 at Flemington beating Berkshire Breeze. Berkshire Breeze probably leads this field from out wide, but
I think so.
Kind of want to avoid him based on that last run. It was a bit
A little bit, yeah. And he's 6 weeks between runs here. So I'm happy with the Point King punt.
Yeah, same. So am I. Let's go to the Vale Black Caviar. Listed 1,400 metres. 4-year-olds an open handicap. So, what did I see here? It was a bit all over the shop, really. All the speeds drawn out wide with the likes of Ellswood, Snowman, your guy, Bandersnatch and Aaron Bay. Aaron Bay was a winning machine last prep. Absolute winning machine.
He was.
I think he appreciates Flemington too.
The victim was on a fair bit.
You know who I thought was an enormous price, given what he did at 100 to 1 first up last prep, was Macram. $17.
Well, it's not $100.
No, it's not. But first up, he loves Flemington. Absolutely adores it. I think the better tracks are the key to him as well. So he's not the worst. Barry 6, 54.5, Craig Williams.
Starting to see a bit of a trend in Melbourne. Why are we starting to call benchmark 100 races listed races? Bank Mall, Nicolini Vito,
Holy Man.
Carini. These are benchmark 100 horses.
Yeah.
Look, I think Snowman's going to be ridden more conservatively here. Like he was dross last start.
Yeah, he wasn't great.
He was dross. Bit more of a conservative ride. 20 to 1. I'll have another throw at the stars because nothing else interests me.
What about Chrysaor?
Yeah, Chrysaor the stable, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, resuming.
A couple of trials.
Look, he's never won over 1,400 metres from 6 attempts.
No, but he hasn't won much in his career.
This is a benchmark 100 race. They all win at some point.
That's it, mate. So benchmark 100, but he's had 8 career starts at Group 3 level or higher, which is more than half of his career. And he's, with the greatest respect, you're not at that grade of horse. This is his grade. Froggy knew it on. I think at $18, he's one you have to put. Oh, if it wasn't in your early quaddie, it has to be in there. Has to. The Let's Elope Stakes, 1,400 metre Group 2 for the mares, set weights penalties. Interesting little race here. Quintessa beat a lot of these last start. $5. She's probably your starting point.
Yeah, interesting her winning first up over 1,200 metres. She ran 4th in the Australian Oaks.
Yeah, I know. I don't think she's a star.
No, so yeah, if she's winning like that over 1,200 metres, then there's surely more to come for the rest of this prep in a smart stable that, let's be honest, their strike rate when they bring them over. And since they opened that stable in Cranbourne, it's been unbelievable. So I think Quintessa is going to be hard to beat again. But it's not that simple. You've got Vibrant Sun resuming. She was the Adelaide Oaks winner. I don't think she's a 2,000 metre horse. I think she's a miler. So resuming at 1,400 metres isn't an issue for her. I think she can run a big race at 16 to 1. See You in Heaven has been good this prep. Alsafina, the Western Australian horse at $7.50. Like she's missed the top 3 once in her career.
She, as I saw on Twitter during the week from Racing Previews, a good little, they have a podcast as well. She was $51 in all-in markets, Al-Safina. She ain't that price now. She's $7.50 now.
May the overs gods be kind to those gents. That's unbelievable. And Lady Jones, she's a super 1,400 metre horse. I don't think Flemington's her go, but she wouldn't shock either. So it's a tricky race. Might be another candidate for a Ned's same race multi.
It could be.
I tell you what, the victim's going to have a tough time this weekend.
Yeah. Flemington always is, though.
Yeah, it is. Well, the Valley's been very kind to him and punters this season thus far. So
yeah, that's all right. Okay, so race 9 then. Race 9, the Bobbie Lewis, 1,200 metres, Group 2, open handicap. There was a few here that I didn't mind, unfortunately. There's a lot. There's a lot happening here.
There's a lot again.
Like, what is this? $5.50 the field. So Right to Party is your favourite. You can have that mare, in my humble, with weak-gutted dog, Jai McNeil on.
Yeah. I have backed her last 3 starts.
Congratulations.
And she's won every time because, 1, those silks, and 2, weak-gutted dog, Jai McNeil owes me money over time. But, yeah, couldn't possibly in this race. Not with the likes of my girl Benedetta, even though she's got to lug a bit of weight. She loves the straight. Spacewalk, you've mentioned. Arkansas Kid, we're bagging him because he's not an Everest horse, but he's got 53.5 kilos in this race. On the quick backup, sometimes that's a recipe for success. Stretton Angel's a smarty. Sans Doute, she's a straight track specialist.
Absolutely.
She's got 53 kilos. Mickey D, $7. And I like Skybird as well. She's $12. She was a bit naughty in the gates last start, so they had to scratch her. I had to trial again before she could get back to the track. It's a tricky weekend for the victim.
It's not the worst in this. The Inferno. No, he's not the worst in this.
Oh, mate.
I'm telling you for sure. He found he's a listed grade horse, right? He is.
Yeah.
And this is a Group 2. But I don't think it's like a vintage edition of a Group 2, right?
No, this is I'd say this is Group 3.
It's even.
This is an even Group 3.
Even. I think at 20-1 in Group 3, that sounds about right. And I think he can run super, barrier 15 if the outside rail's on and it's a good track. I think that's his sweet spot.
You and I have to make a commitment to each other right now. The two of us are putting on a quaddie this weekend in Flemington because the amount of roughies we've spoken about. We have to. This is getting a field, though.
Big F.
This last leg's getting a field.
Of course it has to.
It has to.
It has to. Actually, field, and we'll leave out Right to Party, the favourite. Yeah, and we can leave out the astrologist. When's the last time that horse won? 91 weeks.
Hang on a second. Number 1, Laws of Indices.
I know. Yeah, I saw that. Philip Stokes trains him now.
7-year-old horse.
Yeah.
God.
He last ran in the All-Star Mile last year. So where has that horse been? I'm assuming it's done tendon or something.
Yeah, it must have.
It's a weird race. You have Griff in here. What's he doing here? Strange
weird race.
So,
weird. Yeah. But buenos noches. Would he shock?
No, I think he's done his best racing down the straight. So, but also so Spacewalk. So I don't know, mate. I don't know. It's I'm just going to I like about 5 of them. I'll put them in a random number generator and pick one. That's the type of race it is. Now, Sydney. I think we want to go to race 6, the Sheraco Stakes. 1,200 metres, Group 2 for the fillies and mares, set weights and penalties. Joldy Star, $1.75 versus Sunshine in Paris, $4.20. Macarena, $6.50. I think she will not start that price. She has to get out. And then I think you could almost reverse the prices of those two. And commemorative, I think, both of them will start about $8, I reckon. That's my prediction. Tears Invincible is a big price at $31.
Look, I'm not an exotic bettor, but if I was ever going to be more confident in Quinella.
This one?
Oh, Sunshine in Paris and Jolly Star, Quinella them up. That's it. That's all you do. It starts with P, ends in annals. It's not Toddy Parnell. Panels. Panels above the rest of these.
Yeah, right.
Panels.
Yeah, okay.
We're talking about Jolly Star, who could win an Everest at a start after this race. And we're talking about Sunshine in Paris, who had a slot last year and has been racing in all our Group 1s on heavy decks, which she doesn't like.
No, she doesn't.
She's a 5-year-old man now, not a 4-year-old. Those two panels, Quincy, bang, done. That's how you play the race. You take your 2 whatever to 1.
It'd be better than that.
$3-ish?
So rough math, if you want to calculate your rough Quinella odds. I'm sure I've said this on the podcast before. But you have the 2 SPs for the horses. You times them together and then you divide them by 2. So about $2 for Jolly Star, $4 for Sunshine in Paris. Times them by 2, divided by 2, that's $4. That'll roughly be what the Quinella plays. That's a nice play.
It'll be a big pool.
It will be. Because, yeah, and the thing is like, there'll be a lot of punters that take Jolly Star into another horse and vice versa.
Yes.
So, yeah. I think that's the way I'll play too. You've talked me into it.
Mm-hmm.
The Ming Dynasty. 1,400 metres Group 3 for the 3-year-olds open handicap. I thought this was a weird little race here. Like Mayfair has shown some talent, but, you know, was second behind Stormboy, but kind of something had to run second there, if you know what I mean. Like,
I know what you mean.
$4.40 for him as favourite. I'm kind of keen to take him on with a couple of horses that were against Autumn Glow. Some alternative 3-year-old form. That's my old mate Snack Bar. And I thought Gary Portelli's colt Ironhawk was even better, and you're getting $14.
Yeah, it's a big price for Ironhawk. But it's not a 2-year-old, so I'm not going to back Gary Portelli. I like number 11, Lady Shenandoah. The maiden for Chris Waller.
For sure.
Even though she didn't win, really liked her 2 starts. Her second ever start, well, her first ever start was behind Clean Energy, ran 3rd, and then her second ever start was behind Clean Energy, ran 2nd, and that was in a listed race. Got a lot of time for this little filly in great silks. Phenomenal silks.
Tassus silks.
And I think because we were talking about them so much last week, that's just a sign for me to back this horse.
What about Mr. Artemisia racing in his dad?
Well, that's the other one.
His daddy silks.
Well, that's the other one. That's the other one you've got to be aware of at 20 to 1.
Daddy silks.
Daddy silks, that's his daddy. The autumn son.
Who's still having a year off because of his broken penis.
It's still the springtime. His penis is still broken, drifters. It's not going to heal in time.
Commiserations.
Yeah.
Okay, the Run to the Rose. Is this the most intriguing race of the weekend?
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
There's storylines galore here.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily the most intriguing. The most intriguing race of the spring thus far.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how to play it.
Stormboy. $2.
Sheesh.
Ooh, and the market gobbled him up. Yum, yum. Absolutely devoured him last start. Deep-throated him, you might say. They got him all inside their mouths. The market, they loved him. But they have not missed him this start. $2 he starts.
I hope he wins, Stormboy. Because I'm a big fan. He's a big brute of a colt. He's a stud. He's a dude.
Thick colt.
And if he wins this and wins the Golden Rose and wins the Guineas and then runs into Cox Plate, I'm a happy guy because it's good for the industry.
Yeah, but then you won't see him again. I almost hope he continues to lose.
What, he's going to be a 7-year-old horse like Lords of Industry trying to jag in Group 1?
No, like Fierce Impact, mate. And then eventually
50 stars.
Yeah, that's it. And then eventually they just they eventually just had enough and then they just never get any condition back.
No.
I think this is the last. I think this is the last prep for Stormboy. I really do.
Well, what about the autumn?
Yeah, he's that. If he keeps growing, like
he'd be too gross. Yeah.
That's it. Like he's so big. Right
he's
now.
So big.
Yeah,
he's so big. The thing about the last start compared to this start for Stormboy. Last start, you were obviously getting a better price because let's be honest, he was disappointing towards the end of last prep. But the setup of the race was completely different. He had it all his own way last start. He just led and just grounded down into the earth. And look, I'm not an expert, but looked pretty good. There wasn't a lot of horses I think that could have ran him down anyway. But this field is a million times better, and he ain't going to get his whale up the front. Linebacker, a node, bustling. Emirate likes to sort of be positive. I think Traffic Warden likes to be pretty positive. So if he has to do a fair bit of work to lead, it could just take the juice out of him. But at the same time, like, he could just do the exact same thing and win. And I actually wouldn't mind seeing that at all. But at the price, I'm going to take Switzerland at $7 because he failed in the slipper, but it came a bit too soon for him, I think. And I'm assuming he probably didn't. It didn't sort of recover too well either from that little 2-year-old colt, presuming here.
Always tough to win a slipper in its first prep.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if he just it took a while for him to come back, Switzerland, which is why he's resuming here and didn't resume in the San Domenico. This race sets up so well for him. He's drawn perfectly. He can stalk the speed, and Jason Collett just needs to get him out at the right time. Switzerland's the one for me. I'm going to back this weekend purely based on the price. I am taking on Storm Boy, but I'm absolutely not potting him. And I'm also not potting Traffic Warden. I'm not potting Linebacker. I'm gonna pot Bustling because I don't think he's that good.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, I don't think he's that good.
You know, what we highlighted this time last week, without knowing that our boy Counter would be running, was the amount of subsequent winners. Now, to be fair, they chip and change a lot. But how's this for breeding? For Bustling's last 3 starts. So, Ascot, the 6th of April, he won by 1.5 lengths. There's been 1 subsequent winner from that race. He won by 4.3 lengths the next start, 20th of April, 2 weeks later. 1 horse subsequently won from that race. It's both of them are him. So there's been no subsequent winners since he, apart from him. And then in the WA size produce, he won by 2.5 lengths. No horses have won since. So there's been no subsequent horses that have won from his last 3 starts, apart from him.
Yeah. And so are we saying that he's, all because he's got an Everest slot already, he's as good as Storm Boy or Switzerland?
Maybe. Depends.
I didn't understand the purchase to bring him over from WA. Yeah, like that's a formidable record. 5 starts, 4 wins, and 1 second. And yeah, that reads super well for over there. Alsafina's missed the trifecta once in her career. She was 50s in all-in markets. That's how much the bookies respect the WA form when it comes to the eastern side of Australia.
Depends on the horse, though.
It depends on the horse, I know, but
Millie's Jewel, Arcadia Queen.
Yeah, and they're really good.
He could be really good.
I don't think he is.
Okay.
I don't think he is. Yeah. I think these will beat up on him.
Interesting.
That's my opinion. Look,
yeah, right. You're entitled to it.
Could my pants be pulled down? Sure, of course they could be, and willing for that to happen. But you've got to take a stand sometimes.
Of course you do.
And I'm happy to take him on.
I like it.
He's a good-looking horse, I'll give him that. Bustling.
Yeah, he kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, he looks like a, like just by his looks, I'm not saying by his like progeny or his like lineage, he looks like a Japanese horse to me. You know what I mean?
Does he?
Like, he has a black baldy face, doesn't he?
He's a sort of celestial legend type.
Oh, forgive me. I've got that horrifically wrong. I'm thinking of another horse.
He's got that look where he's sort of, yeah, celestial legend or classique legend before they
turned.
Yeah.
Before I turned.
Before I turned. Yeah. Lineback is an interesting horse.
Yeah, needs further. Spring champion horse for me. Linebacker. I think
apparently he's been a bit of a dude.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
I love that. Who's he out of? Superset. Hello. Okay.
So Superset's the son of Dundeel. So grandson of Dundeel, linebacker.
You know who is a stupid price in this race, but justifiably so. But Tropicus was sensational against that, resuming. He needs further. I think, I don't know what how do the 2 Dun Hots go over the mile? Do they run out a mile? Do you know?
Broadsiding is out of 2 Dun Hot.
Hello. This horse could be running in a Caulfield Guineas potentially. I reckon. $26. So interesting. For me, the bet in the race is Traffic Warden. Not jumping off now. He owes me one.
He does owe you one.
But he's had some of the best trials of any of these, easily.
Yeah. Look, and there's so much intent in this race for a lot of these horses. I'd rather take Traffic Warden, Stormboy, Switzerland, Linebacker, Tropicus, and Emirate over Bustling.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Interesting. Fascinating. Okay.
I think if he's improved massively under the new stable heading into this prep, then good on him.
Yeah, great job.
Honestly, good on him because don't rate him highly.
Let's get to the last race that we'll cover, the Theo Marks Group 2 1,300 metre race. Celestial Legend is your $3.50 favourite or thereabouts. Should be awfully hard to beat. Kieran on 59 kilos. Does give 6 kilos to the bottom weights here. Good to see Radina back, friend of mine. Won't be having him here. What did you think about Celestial Legend? You clean to back him here?
Look, Celestial Legend's my guy. We know this.
Yeah,
he's my guy. Yeah. I think even with the weight, I think he's got panels.
Okay,
he's got Scotty panels on him.
Okay.
The one I think's at a big price is New Zealand Group 1 winner. That's number 11, Molly Bloom.
Molly Bloom?
She's $20. That's a huge price.
Just wasn't her day in the Oaks, was it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. There's another guy who I backed up here. Put him to the sword, actually, in the Gunsin Classic. Bases loaded, number 9. Waterhouse and Bott Stable. Well weighted in this race. I wouldn't be surprised. But I've got to back my guy, Celestial Legend.
I think so.
Because he's just so good.
Yeah. I'm having one of the great, if this thing wins, I'll retire because it's that good. That's number 13, Tannhauser.
You got to back Tannhauser.
$61 you're getting. Sure, he might need further.
He might.
But we've only seen him for 2 runs. One of them you couldn't put a line through the Queensland Derby. It just wasn't his day. But the run before that in the Rough Habit he was gelded mid-prep. Love to see that. But I have a feeling, watching his latest trial, he's a different horse with the ultimate gear change. He's finally figured it out. I think he's not the worst at $61. I'm going to have something very small, 1x3 on him.
You can say what you like when they're $61.
Exactly.
What's the drifter going to do? Send us a private message. Can't believe you talked to me at 10 years. So how much did you have on, mate? You didn't need much at 61s.
No, that's it. $61. That is an enormous price, and I'll be having something 1x3, 1x5 even at that quote. And if he wins, I'll look like a genius. And unfortunately, you won't see me on Sunday.
Yeah, you'll be done. Look, we've had these similar conversations over the years on the podcast. If it wins, look like a genius. If it loses, no one's going to hold you accountable.
No way. And
it all started with one particular horse that was backed by someone phoning in, and it was wearing the
that's right,
old green old silks.
Yes, was he wearing was he wearing his new sunnies when he called in? When he did that?
It wasn't Mick, it was Mackenzie.
Oh, was it? Okay. You have too many bros.
Yeah, I do. Yonkers, we're talking about.
Yonkers,
50 to 1.
Unbelievable. That was huge. Huge. Yeah, Tannhauser, keen. Tyler Schiller, 53 kilos. Be negatively ridden, but I think he'll be running on. I think he'll run well. So, yeah, keen for this weekend of racing. A bit of a line in the sand type situation.
It is. It's not moving day, but it's it's close to. I cannot wait. I'm going to be at the Breakfast Creek Hotel.
Good for you, mate.
With the fam. Phenomenal place to have a punt.
Yeah, just might get the
Turn the music up.
red fillet,
Yep.
mushy sauce. Oh, you're a pepper sauce guy.
Pepper sauce guy. I'm actually been getting the chili sauce recently at the creek. Yeah, it's been good.
Okay. Guy from work was telling me a story about the creek. I don't know if I told you. They were outside in that like beer garden area.
Yeah.
And there was a big table of funny. That's right, you weren't there. You haven't heard this. So yeah, big table of them. They hear got the big, is it a fig tree out there or something? Yeah. Anyway, big tree out there, and they hear some rustling happening above them. Anyway, this guy looks up, and as he's looked up, there's a possum and it's dropped on his head. Oh shit. He's like, get it off, get it off. Anyway, so the possum's like clung on for dear life, and he's like ripped it off. And apparently the possum has like ripped him like that. And in his state of like panic, he's thrown the possum like down the table, and it's just absolutely cleaned up all the steaks. and then one of the managers there, because old mate's just gone like, I need to wash this out, obviously, because it's like possum
rabies and that.
Yeah. Anyway, he's washing his face, and then he just hears this like the door bang open, and it's like the manager. He's like, "Oh, you must be the possum guy." He's like, "Yeah, mate." He's like, "Oh, don't worry, mate. Your next round's on us." He's like, "Huh? What about the $500 worth of steaks that we just had to throw out?"
Possum boy.
Possum boy. You're the possum guy.
That'd be traumatizing.
It'd be shocking. I wouldn't be sitting out there again. I don't think.
No, I don't think so. I'll keep an eye out when I'm there on Saturday.
Yeah.
Bit of possum magic.
All right. Good luck if you're having a punt this weekend. Do it with Neds, but gamble responsibly, of course.
Enjoy, guys. See yous.